In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Happy holidays, everyone, and now we are back at another lecture of wire bending. Our topic today is the fitted labial arch. This tutorial video gonna show you a wire bending design animation, as well as a hands-on wire bending tutorial. And finally, you're going to learn how to adjust the fitted labial arch. The fitted labial arch design starts with a U-loop, which is 2 mm in length and 2 mm in width, and should be about 1 to 2 mm away from the papilla between the central incisors. And from that U-loop extend two horizontal arms, which should be at the level of the junction between the incisal and the middle third of each incisor. Then we have two vertical arms, which should be well adapted on the contours between the incisor and the lateral incisor. And finally, we have a tag that extends into the palate, ending with a downward bend or an L shape. So, first of all, we're gonna mark the junction of the incisor on the middle third with a marker pen, which will represent the position of our horizontal arm. Next, we have our 0.7 stainless steel wire straightened. And in the middle of the wire, we're gonna make a U-loop with angle plier. Try to go all the way down to make your U-loop. Next, I'm gonna hold both of the arm with my finger and try to close it even more. Now I think it's good. We have a 2 mm width U-loop. Next, we're gonna have to make it a 2 mm in length. So we're gonna mark here about 2 mm and next to it 2. And next, with our Adam plier, we're gonna bend a 90-degree bend to make our horizontal arms. Now it's good. Next, we're gonna do the same for the other side. Now we're gonna put the U-loop between the two central incisors. You can clearly notice now that the horizontal arms or the fitted labial arch is not well adapted on the central incisors. So, in order to make it adapted, we're gonna hold the U-loop with our Adam plier like this and push here and here. You can notice now that we made a smooth curve in the horizontal arms. Now let's see the adaptation of our fitted labial arch on the incisor teeth. Next, we're gonna mark between the central and the lateral incisor, which represent the area of the embrasure, like this. This mark represents the position of the two vertical arms. When we want to bend it, we should not bend it in upward direction. Why? Because we want our vertical arm to be adapted on the embrasure between the central and the lateral incisor, not upward, but adapted like this. So when we're gonna bend, we're gonna twist the main wire a little bit like this. As you can see, I'm twisting it, and then I'm gonna bend and push toward the embrasure between the central and the lateral. So now the vertical arm is directed toward the embrasure between the central and the lateral incisors. I'm gonna close this arm a little bit. Now, if this adaptation is enough, no, we have to do more adaptation. How we're gonna do it? We're gonna do it by the angle plier. We're gonna hold the vertical arm like this and then push the whole or the body of the main wire forward. We're gonna push it forward. You can see now we have a curvature even in the angle of the wire and the vertical arm. Now next we're gonna try to adapt it to make the starting point of retentive tag. It needs a little bit more adaptation, so again I'm gonna hold with the vertical arm and push. Let's see it now. Now I think it's good. Next we're gonna mark the point between the central and the lateral incisors like this. This will represent the starting point of our tag. At that point we're gonna use the Adam plier to make a bend downward. This will be just a test bend. After that, we'll try to do smoothing for this arm to make it adapted on the palatal side. Let's check now for if the arm bend is in correct position. It seems it's in good position, so we're gonna close our bend even more. Don't be in a hurry. Go slowly as possible. Check every step you do. Otherwise, you're gonna get a wire that's not well adapted. Next, I'm gonna mark the position of the L shape of the tag. And with our Adam plier, we're gonna make a downward bend for the L shape of the tag. Next, we're gonna cut the wire with a heavy cutter. Now let's put it back on the cast, and then we're gonna do the other side. Again, we're gonna mark the pressure point between the central and the lateral incisor. Again, when we're gonna do the upward vertical arm, we're gonna bend it toward the central and the lateral incisor, toward the embrasure, so that we have a little bit of angle like this. You can see now there's a 45-degree angle toward the embrasure. Then we're gonna do the second stage of adaptation. We're gonna hold the vertical arm like this and then push the whole wire forward. You can see now Even the angle of the wire is adapted toward the embrasure. Next, we're gonna mark the point between the central and the lateral incisor to start bending our tag. Just like the other side, first we're gonna do a test bend. After checking its adaptation and confirming it, we're gonna make a smooth curve with our fingers like this. We're gonna make smooth curve with our finger to make the tag adapted on the palatal side. Notice the curvature now in the wire. Next, we're gonna continue bending downward toward the palate. And again, we're gonna continue bending down. Don't go all the way down. Don't overbend your wire, otherwise you'll complicate things for yourself. Go as slow as possible as you can so that you don't do any mishaps. Now I think it's good. So I'm gonna mark the position of the L shape, which is the end of the retentive tag. Next, we're gonna do a downward bend toward the palate and then cut the wire so that only 1 millimeter or half millimeter remain. Next, we're gonna check our fitted labial arch on the cast. Now let's look at the final position of our fitted labial arch. We have a U-loop that's well adapted. We have two horizontal arms that's also well adapted on the labial surface of the central incisors. The U-loop should be at the midline. Its length as well as its width should be also 2 millimeter and should be 1 to 2 millimeter away from the papilla between the central incisors. The fitted labial arch is a retentive component, so instead of activation, we're gonna do adjustment, which is done by slightly compressing the U-loop with angle or Adam plier. And also slightly bending the U-loop toward the embrasure between the two central incisors. Don't overdo it because it won't fit anymore. Just slight bend toward the embrasure and that's good. This is required because at the patient where the appliance, it will be loose. So after 2 weeks, it won't be a fitted labial arch. It will be just a labial arch. So we have to adjust it and return it to its original form, to its fitted state. Now you all know that retentive component does not have any action, just for retention. But let's demonstrate the amount of retention the fitted labial arch provides. Note the fitness of the appliance, that even the U-loop is fitted on the labial surface of the incisors. So now let's try to make it fall. When I try to make it fall with my hands or even by doing this type of movement, it does not bulge, it does not fall, and it doesn't move even a single millimeter. And that's what makes a normal labial arch into a fitted labial arch. And that's it for today. Thank you for your listening. Thank you for your attention. And remember, always, if you have any question, feel free to message me on my Instagram or by leaving a comment on YouTube. And good luck, everyone, and God bless you.